Manhood, brought to you in part by Solomon's Bespoke.
This is Manhood. Thank you for staying with us or joining us. It's been a long one. You know, this episode is clearly running after Carnival. It's been a great one, and hence the topic today, which is none other than woman and rum. Now, that in itself needs to be dissected. It's not for the controversial thoughts you're having right now. It's because the topic really is about what everything comes down to in context, which is woman and rum. But just remember, we are a few men speaking to all men, not speaking on behalf of all men. And the ultimate goal of this show is always to be better as brothers. So to my right, Johan Ayodike, behavior change consultant. To his right, the man who will take the title, I'm sure, today as the provocateur.
No.
You know, we looking to stir things up, women and rum.
Yeah.
You know, Trevor Queenzflip Robinson.
Yo. What's up, y'all? Appreciate it.
And to his right, well, the local, the original, Niall McNish.
Hey.
I'm going to say it, yes, Niall, Scorch creative director. Yeah,
Appreciate you.
Proud of him. Let's get straight into it. So, woman and rum. You know, there's a lot. Immediately as you hear that, you're going to be thinking the controversy. But let me start off by saying congratulations to Machel Montano, the 12th Road March title. Whatever your thoughts are, whatever your perspective is, I urge you could come and share it here on Manhood, and we could dissect it and debate it. But my personal experience with Machel is there's nobody that works as hard as him. He's a genius. Yes, there might be some ways that people may be talking about that we went about this particular carnival in getting the 12 Road March title, but when a man wins by that sort of landslide, even if he didn't hit every truck, chances are he would have got it. My thing I ask people is, why is it called Road March title when the points, you get the points from being on the stage? That's where the judges are. So it should be Road March title. It should be Stage March. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents on that from the outset, because I know when people hear woman and rum, immediately they're going to think of Can't Behave, another brilliant song. All around it was just, you know, for me, I look at it, and as a man, I'm proud of Trinbago. I'm proud of Trinbago culture, and that we have year in, year out, that level of talent, that level of, so competition is healthy, right? But that talent that comes out, whether it be Still a Roadman, Bunji, Voice, Paris Couture, the original Couture, Capital, Machel. I mean, there's just so much that really and truly Carnival was just best. And it's the overall culture that I appreciate. And Bacchanal is part of it. That hence right after is Ash Wednesday. You know, but you know, kudos to, I've been fortunate to spend a lot of time with Machel and seen him in operation, but I also know Voice, and I also know a couple of these other guys, and they all are really, really ambassadors for the culture that we need to be proud of. But was the show without some bacchanal? So let's get into women and rum.
I'm happy that you got your politics out of the way. You know, he made sure to touch everybody. He made sure to touch Machel. He made sure to touch Voice. He put it on real clean, real nice. So I appreciate that. But the reality is that Voice get robbed. Personally, at least that's what I feel that was on the streets.
So the views and expressions.
The people on the streets was calling for Voicey, but you know, apparently the DJs on the road march, which is the stage, play Machel. So I don't know how that happened, but it is what it is. I don't know. What are you saying? You're saying mostly Voicey or Machel on the stage, on the road?
I was on the road and I heard a lot of Voice, but I understand the game. You know, where I'm from, you got to get it how you get it. And if somebody's out there doing hand-in-hand promotion, if somebody's out there putting the work, whether it's fair or unfair, you know, you have to commend them for that. So, listen, if you ask Flip, Voice is the song I heard. Encore I heard like a couple of times, but me and JR on my video that's coming out today, I kept saying that, man, I hear it again. I'm hearing it again and again and again. So, I don't know, man, but when you talk to other people, they say that Machel was working hard. He was on the different trucks. He was, it's called hand-to-hand promotion. It's like a street team. He was his own street team. And that's part of the game. Sometimes you got to get out there in the field, regardless of what it is. If somebody feels that if somebody feels that he was, I guess, cheating, then do what he did. If you understand what I'm saying. Why you ain't do what he did? Why you ain't going through the trucks? Why you didn't do that? Why couldn't it be both of y'all on the trucks, if you understand what I'm saying? I don't know how that works.
So I'm not calling any names, right? But because I really want us to go down into the woman and rum, which is, we're just using it as a topic,
Look,
right?
Look at your man.
And
Look at your man,
right? No, wait.
Look at your man. Look. His face turning red. Look at him. We got him.
Hold up.
I
don't need to clean up because that's the nature of the show. We want people to be their true, authentic self,
Appreciate
right?
that.
And one thing, and I'm going to quote from Machel here, it says, we're responsible for everything we are and everything we are not, right?
Okay, I like
so
that.
in our own comments and everything, there's about accountability. Own what you say. So I own what I say. It's not politics. It's a matter of being involved, having been involved with most of these individuals. And I'm saying as a collective, I am proud of what they put out.
Okay,
the
yes.
politics of who should have won and that battle, that when I look at my bank account, that ain't affecting me in any particular way.
Gotcha.
I saw good songs that I was able to jump and whine and have a good time to, and let them. I not taking what was it say, medicine for somebody else cool, right?
Okay.
So, but I will say that one thing when it comes to what Machel did or did not do, you have to also ask yourself, as you said, it was clearly legal because he got the road march title. Why not adapt that or adopt that? In so many ways over the years, people have adopted or adapted to a lot of his style.
I see what you're saying.
The way that he's done things. So that's competition.
I retracted my statement. Voice didn't get robbed. What it is that he got outworked, out-promoted, and because of that, the results speak for themselves. So in other words, if he was doing the same thing, you think that...
He had the opportunity.
We won't know
You
that.
could have gone on a truck, right?
I didn't think of it that way.
As well. And I'm not saying
He was
that,
on a truck.
He was on Yuma truck. He was on a couple travels.
but you didn't. I'm saying you worked hard.
I didn't see no
but you
posters on
didn't.
the road.
Everybody.
I didn't see no T-shirts.
For example, a Usain Bolt and a Richard Thompson, I've seen both of them in training. I followed Richard Thompson to LA, to Louisiana, different places. They work hard, but there must be one. There must be a winner, and it's that person that just one has the edge and who just works that a bit harder. And I'm not, I want to say that, but I mean, you could be working a bit harder.
Here's my
I
thing.
don't know.
I think that the name should be changed. I want to talk to the creator of Road March. I want to sit down and talk to him. Why? I think it should be changed, right? Because if somebody from the outside looking in, when you say Road March, I'm thinking about that the songs that are being played outside amongst the people, that the people are having fun to, is a song that should win. I heard that song, Can't Behave, Yourself, Myself. I heard that song a lot of times.
We have to culture, Can't behave. Can't behave.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm tired. Can't behave.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. I also, where I'm from, as I said, is that hand-in-hand promotion is extremely important. Getting out there in the field, in the dirt, in the ground is extremely important. And no matter what pedestal you may be on, sometimes you have to get down and touch the pavement with the people. That's important. And once you get down and touch the pavement, a lot of things change. I mean, listen, we're going to see where it goes, man. But
So I would correct.
It's like the age-old saying, when you're saying working smart instead of working hard, right? If you know people, right, which I think over the years Machel has demonstrated, he know his culture, right? He know us. And then he demonstrated also he know international crowds. So if he is doing what he knows people want, then he would win. And that's the difference between working hard and working smart. So you could do a million things, but if it's not connecting to people, then it means nothing. So it's about understanding the rules of the game and playing the game correctly. And I say that because in any society, but we know in Trinidad, there are what you see outside in terms of rules, and then there are other rules. And the other rules doesn't make it illegal, right? But the other rules to play is like, if I want a job, I could send a resume online, or I could walk into the company and hand in my resume. Both are legal ways, but there are ways to do things.
Ones will have more of an impact. And we've spoken about it Flip, a couple times on this show, there's a term that we fall into called fashionably unimpressed, right? And whether that comes from a position of trauma historically or not, Trinis love to be unimpressed, but in a cool way. So no matter, which is why you have so many celebrities could come to Trinidad, and you're not gonna have a rush. Fans are, people rushing and breaking on the door, camping out the hotel room. That doesn't happen. It's almost like a reservation.
We admire from far.
But we can't let you know too much. We can't give you a 10. We had to, if you're a 10, we had to tell you you're a 6. We had to bring,
Yeah, we like to bring it down a peg.
Peg it down a bit, right? And so Machel says it in his song, you're only as good as your last performance. And it's so true.
That is true.
The fact is, next year, it is apparently the encore and he's going on to do other things. But next year, should he come out, if his song isn't topper and outside of the party encore style, boo, you're going to get pegged down. People forget all the things that you've done in the past, all the things that made their carnival, hence you used to call him Mr. Carnival. But I come back to the fact that Voice, Bunji, Nadia, Batson, Pieces was one of my favorite songs. They all made this carnival, and I hope that they all could kumbaya now. The man has it. Whether this year or not, people say he deserved it. The reality is, overall, as a lifetime achievement, I think he deserves to be recognized in the way he
Robert
deserves.
being very political.
Right?
Yes, Jen.
Well, hear what?
I'm looking at him in his face and I'm like, bro,
Hey, hear this now.
what you saying right now? You want me to get aggravated? That what's going on?
That is cool. That's cool because I want to get down to woman and rum.
Please.
Because I want to say, when we talk about woman and rum, they have so much we could break down here, Flip. And I know you're looking to analyze me. That's cool.
I'm seeing what you.
Wait, you're not talking. I talking.
I'm seeing what you're doing, man, and I'm not. I respect it, but I respect it. You're gonna say whatever you're gonna say, but I'm listening to you. You're pretty good. You're pretty good at deflecting. Not only that, you're pretty good at steering the conversation. Not only that, you're pretty good at U-turns. You're real good. I'm thoroughly impressed. I'm watching you do it and going back to woman and run because you know if we keep going, it's just gonna open the door for more conversations to question certain things. So let's move on. Because what he said, this gentleman, my man right here, Johan say, pardon me, bro. I'm gonna call my man you. Johan say, no disrespect. He said it's about the people. So what he said. And if you say it's about the people, and then if I go, I'm real good with the algorithm and the analytics. And if I go to the analytics, then it would be another debate. So instead of us being here long, let's move on to woman and rum. Because you said about the people, people not. Johan said the people are kind of upset.
No. Look at it this way, right?
Sorry, one more thing. Is it because my question to you, is it about the people or is it about the people that's in charge?
Ooh. Cough.
Both.
Hear silence?
Both. And let me explain that because when Machel did the free concert, right? We spoke about Trinis needed to be fashionably unimpressed. But when we are impressed, we give the support. When Machel did the free concert, now of course I don't know every opinion of every single person in the country, but many people were impressed. If you understand what I'm saying. Him appear in certain places, right, which he doesn't typically appear, many people were impressed.
Smart.
So whether it is the people on the ground or the right people were impressed.
Okay.
If you understand what I'm
You're
saying.
ram out. Even on the outside,
right.
you are ram out. But again, and I know you keep thinking this is political, right? But I come back to the fact
political.
that I come back to overall. Again, because I have the honor, I know these people.
Right.
Outside of the person on the stage. And I'm saying everybody, what was so amazing for me to see is that regardless of what their own politics were, right? Everybody ate a food or eat a food is what it is. Everybody ate a food, right? If you could break
Say
down
like
the
that.
colloquialism,
Yeah,
right?
gotcha.
And the reason I'm saying that is Voice, I was there for his 10th anniversary, right? Concert, ram out, amazing concert. Kes, awesome show. The night of Bunji concert, even though they had the free concert in Flavor, ram out. Hard Fet was also ram out. And finally you saw Bunji get the crowd that he deserves. And the people having a great time. So everybody had crowd.
Well, let me treat it, but he didn't win the World Cup. It's like Cristiano Ronaldo have an impressive career, but he never win a World Cup. If you understand what I'm saying now.
Right.
I am a Cristiano fan.
Right.
But Messi have a World Cup. If you understand what I'm saying. We
right.
go in the original Ronaldo have a World Cup. So if you understand what to say, I
Zidane
with
have
you.
a World Cup, Pele have a World Cup.
I with you, in terms of the culture would win. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about
World Cups.
But
Right?
let me just say this. You know, Bunji Garlin, a friend of mine. Shout out to him. He's a real down to earth, nice guy. He's amazing. He's just who he is, how he carries himself, how he presents himself, how comfortable he makes you feel in the moment, regardless if you know his history or not. He's just a genuine, nice guy. So you would want to see somebody like that get their just dues. You would want to push for that. Whatever the disconnect may be or whatever is going on, I'm not aware of. But I just know, like, I did a skit a long time ago with my son and my brother-in-law to the song Chicken and Dumpling when I shook my son up in the car when he was younger.
I remember that.
And the producer came to me on the boat and said, on Epic, and said, yo, I owe you a check because when you did the video, that song did well, right? But then in my head, I'm like, yeah, I did that because I rock with Bunji, period, and he deserved that. But also in my head is like, what would it take for a prominent act, a great act like Bunji Garlin to get his just due? And I really don't know the politics up here. I don't know what's going on, how people view him. But I view him as one of the greats. I view him as amazing, and I need to see him win the World Cup. So it's like, my question to y'all is, what is needed for him to do that? Is it a record? Is it being out more? Is it his personality? Is it because he might really, he's in the middle to me. In the middle meaning like he connects with the streets, but he also can connect with the people. So he's like he's not a YN, but he's like a Y-Unk.
Let me give you the
Y-Unk.
example, right? The sentiment, now, I could be wrong about this. The sentiment you were just expressing is a little closer to pity, right?
Interesting.
You can't win on pity. Because you think somebody deserves something and they're a nice guy. Now, there's no indictment on Bunji. I love Bunji, right? So I'm not saying this is what he doing, but I'm going the sentiment that you are doing,
that I just
which
said,
is pity. You can't pity somebody and hope they win. Or somebody can't depend on pity to hope to win because it's my just, quote unquote, is my just due, right? The person who wins is the person who is dominant, right? And dominance not necessarily means force.
Yeah,
it could be intellect, right? It could be talking to the right people at the right time. But the person that wins is the dominant person. And they win because everybody wants them. It's almost like a magnet.
Yeah.
Right? Because of what they put into work, people are drawn to them. When people pity you, they will sing your praises.
They'll cheer for you.
Right, they'll cheer for you. But it's like, and I've been very liberal here, it's like Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump, whatever his views are, he's a dominating force. So people are magnetized to him, whatever your thoughts about him is, right? You can't pity somebody, pity and hope that you get through.
I also stated in that same sentence, I don't know where the disconnect is from, because I think he's beyond talented, and I love his songs and I love his records. So, like Carry It, I love Carry It. I watched the video. I love some of his records. So I also stated, what is the disconnect between him and the people? What do you think the disconnect is?
It's like almost like Denzel Washington. You know, until Training Day, Denzel Washington hadn't won an Oscar, but he's brilliant. But like Cristiano Ronaldo, until you get that particular accolade, that's the narrative that we have set. But Bunji will always be recognized for his greatness. Like you said, you quite rightly said it. He's one of the greats. Yeah. Bottom line. But before you go into anything, we have to carry it to the break.
Yeah, we have to take a break.
You see, just making sure you see what I did there, right? Carry it to the break. This is Manhood. We're really talking about woman and rum. Promise you, that's in the next segment.
Yo, this is Manhood. We talking woman and rum. And
although we're not really talking woman and rum.
yeah, and he just being too politically correct for me. He keep changing the subject, but I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on along with you guys, but I don't know, man. There's a lot of tippy-toeing and walking on eggshells in here.
Then don't.
And I'm gonna keep it real to all the people that's listening. I have my camera recording too. I asked him If he want me to stop, he said record it. So whatever he think this is going, whatever he think his vision is, it may be completely different from what my vision is. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I don't know what the disconnect is. I don't know if we're going to continue that. I don't know if we're changing the subject. But
All right. I mean, let me analyze. And this is not only specific to Bunji. So this is manhood and we're talking about men, right?
Right.
So.
Nah, but we can't do it to my brother. Nah, that. I'm not allowing y'all to do that. A lot of times we get lost in translation doing that. No disrespect. I want us to I want to know the answer about a guy who I adore as a human being. What's the disconnect? Once I get that answer, don't try to water it down with manhood and try to put it on. Let's talk about that specific person, Bunji Garlin,
Right. I got you.
Fan's husband. That's my guy right here. I want to know that.
I got you.
That therapist
All right.
shit, you too smooth with that therapist. He's smooth. Hey, you know what? Let's
All
think
that
about
pity
men.
party and things like that.
Think of, for the lack of a better example, think of Machel as Drake and Bunji as J. Cole, right? J. Cole is a prolific rapper.
Okay.
Prolific. But is J. Cole going to be a worldwide phenom?
He is, yeah.
No, like Drake level. I talking about pop star status.
No.
No. Why?
No.
Why?
I don't think that he embodies the same beliefs that Drake does. I don't think he went down the same road that Drake does. I think that he's more what's that word I'm looking for when you're to yourself a lot?
Isolated, introverted.
He's more of an introvert. He's an introvert and he makes talented music, but he's not going down the same lane that Drake. Not saying that he can't. Not saying that he can't even rap on
So
that
you're
level, but that's not the
comparing
way.
someone who has, think of one person has 40-something years of experience.
Yeah.
Right? Since he's small.
She's your child.
Understands this culture to a T. As a matter of fact, even though he's done a degree in it, the reality is people study him. And
That's a fact.
That's a reality because he's living proof. He's done it. He's changed the game on so many levels.
By he, we talk about Machel.
Machel. So you had Ras Shorty Eye. And
But don't change the topic for Machel. Like keep it to Bunji. And
no, but I'm
and
trying
giving
to show
context,
that
giving
the context is someone who comes. So therefore, as you talk about global appeal, right? Kess is another one, massive. Will have global appeal,
Amazing.
right? Where if you listen to the songs, Carry It, Still a Roadman. When you listen to the lyrics of Carry It, it is very much like Trinidad. It is for Trinidad and Tobagonians. To take it to the next level, to people outside there, are they going to relate with Maloney, Carry It, and you're going on? They're not going to connect with that. Whereas a song like Party, at the time, it's timing as well. You had a song that really, if it wasn't for Party, probably would have got Road March last year, right? Likewise, this year, if Encore didn't come out, the other songs that he had, Move Out the Way, Bam Bam, good songs, but still a roadman or can't behave.
Yeah, but how you structuring what you're saying there, it's seeming like the only reason why Bunji isn't like that superstar is because Machel exists. That's how it sounds like how you structuring it.
And don't play like
And
my
that's
man.
not-
What was that
No,
song he had
and I
before?
know.
That doom 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 doom. What's that song Bunji had a long time ago?
Fireman.
Hit it up. You
Dun,
ready?
dun,
Crawl the
Turn it
raise
up.
up, that's
Right,
Viking.
Vibes.
Don't play my
That-
man
that's
like
hard,
he
that's hard.
Don't act like my man don't got no hits. Watch your mouth, yo. Don't ever act like my man don't got no hits under his belt.
No, he have
ready
hits.
for
He have hits. He have hits.
Let's back up,
No,
right?
no,
Let's
he
back
didn't
up.
say-
You
He
just
didn't
edited
say
yourself.
that.
You just edited yourself.
You ain't coming on my show, right? And then trying to set me up against people that
fucking
I
announcer.
respect.
I
And
tried
I live
to.
in this country. So wait, hold up.
Clean it up.
Hold up.
You're right. You
Let-
caught
let-
on.
You should take another sip. You should take
Sip
another
some water, man.
sip.
Sip
Sip
some
some
water.
water.
Sip
Sip
I
some
got
water,
you,
there,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Because as I stated at the start, I have a lot of respect for all of them. I know all of them, and they've done phenomenal. This is not politics. I know you all keep bringing it to politics,
We wilding
but it
here,
is.
bro. We
But
wilding
it's
here.
to say that I'm not saying because Machel exists. Sometimes it's timing. I'm saying for those particular songs, it's just you got the edge out at that point. Let's think of Oscars, Grammys. It's not that your songs weren't great. Think it's Carnival. Carnival was a great song, but you got pipped.
But his question is,
Was it
why
disconnect?
isn't he? Why didn't he reach to the next? It seems like you have a glass ceiling as to pop stardom for Bunji in particular.
So let's ask ourselves where you might come in. How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a global star, or are you performing as a star on the global stage? How do you see yourself? A lot of times people tell themselves with the universe, they say, be careful what you ask the universe for, because the universe will answer. So if you say, I am sick, you're going to be sick. That's bull. What the universe picks up on is your vibration. So you could be saying what you want. If your vibration isn't in alignment with that, it's not going to happen. So I would see, for example, and I'm going to say this out, Machel, for the superstar that he is and the aura that he always had, this year coming down to the end, I saw Machel, and I wanted to ask, is he still seeing himself in the light, or is he finding himself with the whole cancel culture and you're as good as your last performance, with the way people may react? What's the word I'm looking for? Did you for a moment succumb to that? You don't need to give anything. And I think I said this at the break, where like Denzel Washington, if they're seeing you every week, they're not going to pay to see you on the weekend. Is it that you're giving, by going to all of these parties, is the whole essence of, I see Machel? Whereas people, I know people who say they see Machel 10 times in the carnival.
No, it's because, let me tell you, I want to coming back to your point. Robert started with vibration, right? In relation to what your thing is. So I'm inferring, this is an inference from what he was saying, is that maybe Machel presents himself as a superstar, as an international superstar, and maybe Bunji doesn't, right? Not to say he don't present himself as a star, but international superstar. I'm going with what I inferring from what he was saying.
One is Yeezy, bro. If you listen to the lyrics of that song, very much, okay, just being roots, being part of the people, and that's why we love him, as well as, and look at him as one of us. Whereas there's a stardom that Machel has pushed with the dancers, with the way he's changed the game.
And he flew across the stage for something he had on a rocket path, right? And he flew across the stage, right?
Different levels. Kes is there doing his own thing as well. So it's not... My thing is, Bunji will have his day, but he will have his day in what you think or want for him. I think we all want for him. But in Trinbagonians' hearts, Bunji's right there.
He is.
Nice.
He is.
He's right there.
But again, you answered your own question, which is J. Cole can do it, become a pop star if he chooses to. I believe so. I'm a J fan. But that's just not his
I think
lane.
Bunji's just with the people. I think
That's
his
just
thing.
it.
His thing is the people.
That's just it.
What you want to get at me?
Right, but
I want to get to Woman and Rum.
That's why
You wasn't even on the road. Don't tell me about Woman and Rum. You was on the road?
All right, just now.
That should have been your first question.
You on the road?
Yes.
Just now.
You played Carnival?
Niall, what
Check my Instagram.
about Woman and Rum you want to discuss?
So, apart...
You don't
Flip.
drink?
Is it... Flip, is it...
And
is
he's
it-
a
is
good
it-
guy.
Is
What
it
about
okay?
Woman
I don't
Rum?
drink neither.
You don't drink either?
No.
All that wine, this is just come from you just
Yeah,
raw
I don't-
dog
I
in
don't-
life.
I don't drink no smoke.
DJ Bravo, all them don't drink. So I don't understand what is a that's, but you see, that's part of our culture. Like, what you're drinking, and it seems that if you're not drinking, if you're not shot and punching, if you're not drunk and falling on the place,
And punching is strong. Like
that somehow that's not cool.
I mean, yes.
You have to do that. But I want to come down to Flip.
about-
Is it okay
about Woman and
if I
Rum.
come down to Woman and Rum now?
Yeah.
Sure.
Let me hear what
He has something to say.
You okay with that?
He has something to say, but y'all do that good. He has something to say.
Good. Say what you have
No,
to say.
no. I
Carry on,
want
man.
to hear about Woman and Rum. That's what I want to hear.
So when I say Woman and Rum, right, and we were using it initially as the platform, the springboard was to drop in a little controversy, a little bacchanal with what is on the tongues and everybody's thoughts right now as they're still going through Lent, they're thinking about Carnival. But it seems it's become the topic. But I still want to ask, in your opinion, as we talk about things that you've seen in your skits, in your podcast, there's a thing called, and I'm going to use this as the springboard, a bumper law, whether it's a common law or not, where women are stating that, okay, well, you have to ask for a wine, right? And that's fine, because you can't, if you look at it outside of Carnival, outside of that revelry, behaviors aren't tolerated. You're not supposed to, you can't dress like that in the road, you can't drink in the road, and different things like that outside of those 2 days of revelry. If we're accepting that whining, this behavior, is part of our culture, then why are people getting so upset when you come and, quote unquote, what they're saying now is invade their space? Now, if you come and you try to take a little wine, a little jam, and the woman moves away, don't push it. If you get the wine, don't push it to another song. Understand the time, and even if the rhythm still moving,
Right.
you keep it moving after that.
Three songs.
But if you ain't get any vibration, you know she giving you just a little, pleasantries as part of it. Know what time it is. But I'm coming down to, and this is I just throwing all kind of things in here. When you looking as best as you looking, right? Women training 6-7 months. You're not seeing Popeyes, not seeing any of these things for that time. You looking real good. And then on top of that, you don't leave much of the imagination when you put on that costume, right? A man comes along, he training too, but a man is a man.
Right.
In that environment, music pumping, whether it be
Right.
Bunji, Kes, Machel, whatever your tune playing, and you in the vibration, coupled with you might take a little tipple, you might have a little drink or
Right.
not, you're in the vibes,
I
and
follow
you
it.
see the flip. These
Right.
people
Yeah,
moving waist and body like I show you've never seen in any hip hop
Right.
environment
I'm
in your
listening, I'm
life,
listening, I'm
right?
listening.
Moving every part of
Right.
that. They train all as part of the training, and a man is supposed to be like my partner Johnny Bravo.
That's not how he's supposed to be.
But that's my point.
No, you can go up. Remember, you said ask permission, but it's not asking. Is not what they're expecting. It's consent you're trying to get. And on the road, you can't go
So,
up.
excuse me, ma'am.
No.
This is what I'm trying to understand.
You can get consent just by going up. Again, do use your
Right.
hands. If she whining, you touch.
Well, you should never use your hands in your food
I have
because that's now.
I have a question. When did this topic come up? What happened recently? Usually when topics like this come up as far as cancel culture, when did it happen?
It's just
here?
becoming more and more. So you have a lot of the female influencers now talking more and more
Yeah.
about it and about men, about them saying, listen,
That
when
is
they
the-
dress like that,
From your country invading the world now.
You know what
You
triggered
know
this?
what I'm talking
Here's
about
what you
when I say
asking.
that.
What triggered this was the rose vibrator in the Carnival bags.
What? Who put that in there?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna call the band.
How that related to this?
Because right after
Yo,
that happened,
yo,
it started off.
Hey, y'all is out of line. What?
Yeah, in the
Yo, you
in the
like
band,
Let him finish what he's
I'm
saying
gonna get
first.
you,
now.
yo.
right? So some masqueraders got a sex toy in the Carnival
You can't
bags.
do that.
Yeah, no, but
Why?
how is that
I don't-
related?
I don't-
Wait, I want to hear-
Because what happened is that the conversation got sparked immediately about women's bodies. Because it had people denouncing, like, how could you put this in a bag? This is blasphemy. Meanwhile, women on the road having a great time sex is a big part of Carnival and the culture, right? In fact, let me scratch the word culture out of it. It's a big part of Carnival.
Here's my problem.
So-
I'm sorry to cut you off. I mean, no disrespect, but niggas is thinking like cavemen, yo. Like, I used to think that way. But evolution is important. Like, all that. Like, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, they were only able to do what they can do with what they knew. At the time, knowledge is power. So, back in the days, grandma would be in the house. She'll take care of the house. Grandpa would go out and work. We expect grandma to be in the house, make sure everybody eat, cook. We come back home. She's in the house 10, 20 years straight. Times has changed. Evolution has happened. Regardless of what, with social media, with TikTok, with all that shit, people see things, they learn, they read, and they evolve. And we're at a time where that caveman way of thinking, even though I understand what you're saying, I do understand as a man, I get it. But I also understand somebody who, I have a daughter. And I was just having a conversation with her. She was telling me, just having a conversation in the dark with her too, in Trinidad, I want to be able to say what I want, not what I want to say. I want to be able to express myself and not be told this and that and the third. I'm like, girl, are you crazy? Like, I wasn't raised like that. That's number one. Number two, it's just, if I'm providing and this is the household, you have to still respect me as a parent. And we came to an understanding. But in my mind, while listening to her talk, how passionate she was, I realized that she's mentally evolving. Like, she's evolving with the research that she has, with the knowledge that she has, with the things that's coming across her table. And we as a people are not easily, but are influenced, correct? So what I'm saying is that, with that being said, in America, Women say you got the slut walk, Amber Rose, and all that shit. I do what I want, my body, my choice. If I want to fuck 1,000 niggas, I could. If I don't, I don't. You not able to judge me. But where I'm from, if you do that, and I know you fucked 1,000 niggas, I don't want to fuck with you. And if I say I don't want to fuck with you, I get marginalized. I get looked at a funny way. Oh, you judging me? Or it's just a time that we're in. Full circle, women are feeling like, yo, I can wear whatever the fuck I want. I could go out there, whatever I want. Don't give me a rose. Number one, because I didn't invite that. I didn't ask for that. Don't give me a rose. And two, don't touch me. It's freedom, sexual freedom, libertarian, whatever the word. Help me with the words. I'm just using big words I don't know.
Like, but the sexualization you're talking about.
Come on, help me, yo.
I want to know.
Come on, I'm about to get you.
Is it that, have you always thought like that? Or
No.
do you think like that now because you have a daughter?
We as men are manipulators. I'm a narcissist. I'm a manipulator. That's what I am. Let me just be honest. I'm a narcissist. I'm a manipulator. We manipulate. The thing is what we highlight about manipulation. For example, if you're not sick and you don't want to go to work and you tell your boss you're sick, you manipulated the situation. True. It's what we highlight about manipulation. So I'm a manipulator and I'm a narcissist. But what I will say is I learn in real time. I'm always willing to learn. So yeah, I didn't think like that. I'm like, girl, you out here showing full ass, and I'm a man. I want to That's what I would say. But then you have a daughter, you meet people, you see how they feel. You see,
it depends, right? So
hold on. Let me clear it up. Let me clean that up. You see how they feel. You see the freedom. You don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. Right. You don't want to. I want women to feel comfortable coming around me. You don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And that caveman way of thinking is sometimes what hold certain part of society back. What'd you say? My fault.
Okay, right. And what you're saying, that makes sense. Now, there's the law, right, that everybody has to follow in terms of male-female dynamics of what you can do, what you cannot do. There's the law. So I'm going to the law of the land first. Then there's also nature, right?
Right. Which is the caveman way of thinking.
Well, you see, sometimes, and you could read any history, sometimes law and nature, right, it contradicts each other.
Right.
But we were born into nature. We were not born into law. We are nature by nature. If you understand,
Nature by nature.
Nature by nature.
Naughty by nature.
Both men and women. There's not a male male thing. There's a male and female thing.
It's a human thing.
So putting that into context, when we put, I'm using this loosely now, when we put animals, right? In
of which we are. We have to remember, we have to remember we're animals. At the core, we are animals. Right.
When you put animals in an environment and then give them rules that is opposite to their true nature, right? Then you would end up getting something very unhealthy. Right. Very unhealthy and contradictory.
Cognitive dissonance.
Right? So, yes, so I'll give a quote and then you all could come in, right? That isn't relevant. I heard a quote once, somebody was talking about the frustration of men, right? And the quote was, in this world we live in, it is okay to sell sex, right? Mm-hmm. But it's not okay to buy sex.
Whew.
Right. You all
Actually,
go
like
ahead
that.
now.
You're
and
right.
that is part of the issue. So I'm not saying
Hypocrisy.
either one is right or wrong, you know. But if, let me use the woman and Carnival, because you said we a society of sex, and we said a sex appeal, so we're selling sex, you know, all over the place. We sell sex with cars, alcohol. But if I buy sex, right? And however form that is. Buy sex as in the man on the road with whatever rules, because you're selling the sex and I want it, right? Then there's a problem. And of course, that would cause a dissonance in your own mind.
Let me ask you something flip with that.
Then
because
we get our freedom. When did Trinidad get their freedom?
Well, this is what I want to ask you.
We didn't get it yet. We
That's still under the British rule?
Yeah.
No, we're not under the...
There's
right?
a Privy Council. There's a whole tier with regards to our judicial system. And
So then
on.
that's like a British person coming and saying that, yo, you guys got to just follow what we say and do whatever we say to do, cause since we conquered, like...
Yeah, but we still doing it.
We're the only country.
I didn't know that.
We're the only country.
They didn't tell us to, but we still doing it.
Yeah.
No.
In other words, we have our independence.
Right, independence.
From Britain.
Yeah.
However, we still participate in a lot of the customs and practices.
Oh.
But there's more to it than that. We're the only country that has a parliament and a senate, a president and a prime minister, right? So you're talking about a mix between British and, of course, what you would understand in terms of in
Western?
U.S. culture, Western culture, right? So, and there's the Privy Council. There's
So the prime minister is higher than the president.
No, the president is the highest authority in the land. However, the prime minister is elected, right? It's
So wait, y'all got two?
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So who's the president of the country?
The president is Christine Kangaloo.
Christine who?
Kangaloo.
Kangaloo. And who's the prime minister?
Kamala Bissar.
She's female.
Bissar.
The
Okay.
honorable.
She's a woman.
The honorable, yes.
Got it.
Let's give
Shout
them
out
their
to her. Shout out.
titles, yeah?
So do they communicate? I don't understand.
There's communication.
You
So,
understand? Okay,
but
got
there's a lot in there with regards to what I want from you is to say that there's a back and forth now with Carnival becoming more and more sexualized, and we've talked about it as our culture, but the origination of Carnival had nothing to do with the sexuality and the sexualization that it is today. It is what it is morphed into, which is now pretty much known as pretty mass. Mm-hmm. As someone who's been here before but comes in on the outside, how do you view what we have presented as Carnival?
I love it. I mean, this is my first Carnival.
Like when you see these women and things like that, do you look at it as like would you go home and tell your brethren, hey, is that a woman wearing next to nothing? Why?
Well, let me just. My wife is Trinidadian. She's from Pinal, San Fernando, that area. Shout out to them. And I learned a lot from her. Also, Nala Blackman is a friend of mine, and when I brought her on the Joe Budden podcast, she explained about the culture. She explained about how whining is just part of the culture. It's not meant to make a man aroused or, so I understood that before I got here. When I came here, I was just amazed at the support. I was amazed at the happiness. I was amazed how the people made me and my son feel there in the moment. In the moment, it was, I felt like I was on another planet, and it was just a happy medium. You see, based off of my skits and the type of videos I do, a lot of the gangsters kept approaching me and being aggressive. Flip, what up, nigga? Ah! But besides that, the people made me feel good. So how I felt about it was just amazing. I want to encourage everyone to come to Trinidad and experience this, even if it's one time in your life, because it's beautiful and it's amazing. That's how I genuinely feel, if that's the
But do you see it as a sexual, like that's what I'm saying, do you see it as from the cultural side of costumes and the characters and panorama?
Because Kwasi was telling me how important it was for me to walk across the stage with Yuma during Pretty Mass, how important that part of the culture is. So I have people around me so I do see it. I do. I mean, if with the naked eye, you're probably gonna think it's nothing about sex. I'm trying to get some ass. You know what I mean? And be getting ass out there. But when you have people around you and people in your vicinity and circumference, they taught me. So my view wouldn't be what everybody else's view is, if you understand what I'm saying. Because people are telling me what it is, and I'm willing to learn. They're saying, yo, this is what this means. This is what Pretty Mass is. This is what this means to us, and this is why it's important to our culture. And so I don't look at it from a sexual thing. I mean, back in the days when I was younger, yes. Brazil, shout out to Brazil. Yo, when I was young, I watched the tapes, and it was during Carnival. It was some ill shit. Hey, I'm going to go YouTube that. Not YouTube. I'm going to go look at, they were bro. They were having sex. They was dancing, and they was in there. So that's what I thought Carnival was until I got married and was taught. But when I was younger, you crazy. Brazil? So then you go out there with that. Yeah, we got access to those tapes. Act like y'all don't know what I'm talking about.
I know.
They was having sex.
So,
right? They was. You turn around in the corner.
On that beat, we'll be taking a short break.
Yeah, take a break. You better take a break. Hey, yo, Brazil is lit. I'm going there. Oh, I'm married, but I'm going.
On this note, we'll be taking a short break. And believe it or not, we talk about women and rum. So the whatever that beat is, we'll be back. So this is Manhood, and believe it or not, yes, we are still talking about women and rum in its supposed entirety. So there are conversations about women in there, and there's conversation about rum somewhat. I suppose.
Hey, real quick. Let me cut you off. I'm sorry for being rude. Why do y'all promote sexuality out here but not profanity? DDG was able.
Just now, so we get into that. Let him finish.
No, let her finish. She asked the question. We done on till we done in it.
Let him finish.
I think we need to rewind. This is Manhood, right? This guy is gonna ask a question.
We'll get into that too.
But we'll get into that. But I just want to bring some context into this as well. So there's just two questions I want to ask you. So you've built your name on boldness and dominance in media.
Yeah.
But what does strength as a man really mean to you now, especially as a father and a husband? And I know a lot of, when I was growing up, you'd see a lot of, even though you're younger than me, a lot of the videos with you throwing around your son and things that I then started to do. Because even though I'm older than you, I have a younger son than you, right? So help me understand from that. You want me to read the question again? Maybe I kind of lost you.
You didn't lose me, no. You said, what does strength mean to me?
What does strength as a man really mean to you now, especially as a father and a husband?
Well, strength as a man, it always was to provide. I had my oldest son, young, so it was always to provide. I mean, at that point when I was doing skits and coming in here and I did the skit with Bunji, and then when my head got busted and I got banned from St. Lucia, when I came to Trinidad and I did the skits with Santana puppets and I was trying to run with the puppets, my mind frame through those whole moments was to provide for my children, was to do what I can do to make money and provide for my family. So I still have the same sentiments. What it is that I evolved, right? What it is that I realized that the crazy stuff that I was doing put me in a box, because people, even though some of them were orchestrated, some of them were real, some of them were planned, people still were reluctant to work with me. And I was tired of going around and kicking the door down in order to pay for my family. I wanted to let people know that I'm easy to work with. And that's what Ray J told me. Like, you got to be able to let people know how easy it is to work with you. And, so strength has always been the same. Strength means for me, or what it meant for me, is to provide for my family, to protect, to be the father that I can be, because I make mistakes all the time, right? I still make mistakes. And I don't want to make any excuses for my mistakes. I stand on my mistakes, but I'm also learning in real time how to navigate, how to deal with it, and how to still be strong for the family, because family is important, regardless of what it is. So that's what strength is to me. Strength is being able to provide and being a protector for your family, even if you don't want to be, even if sometimes you feel like it's a lot, just to still maintain that manhood and lead your family to the promised land. I'm sorry, I went on a long tangent. I apologize.
No. The follow-up one to that is a lot of men perform masculinity, toughness, ego, control. We spoke a bit about that.
Yeah, I have all that.
When we spoke about bumper law. What was the moment you realized being a man required something deeper than just being loud or fearless?
When did I realize that?
You had your daughter?
Yeah, I mean, but my daughter, I had my daughter, but I still was doing crazy stuff when my daughter was there. Let me see. What moment? I mean...
When did it flip?
Have you found it?
Yeah,
have you realized it?
Because your mind.
That's the point.
When did it flip? When did you say, listen,
If it even flipped.
I mean, well, I still got an ego. I have that. That's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
I think I was just telling my son in the car when we was driving. We had a long talk conversation. I was like, I'm one of those persons that have to feel, right? Like, I don't believe that you can't teach old dog new tricks. And why I don't believe that is because anything that I go through or experience that may affect me, I will change my ways in order to make my family happy or make my environment happy. Even if I was stuck in those ways for a long time, because family is important to me, or because just unity. Because growing up, I had my father and my mother, I loved them dearly, but I grew up sort of in my own world. And then when you build your own family and own movement, you tend to want to mold it and shape it and protect it the way you want it to be. Now, with that vision, you sometimes get lost in translation, where you won't take in consideration your son's feelings, your daughter's feelings, your wife's feelings, where it's like, I'm the man, because I believe in double standards. And I also believe in financial abuse. Like, if I'm paying, you get, but then, if my wife get up and want to leave, then I'm going to change it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I learn all the time.
No, you see, what you're saying there is important, because I think that sometimes is disconnect in understanding human behavior, and also in us men improving, because he being honest, right? And he being honest about, so two things you said. You said, what makes you a man? So answering his question. One he said was flexibility. So you usually did things one way, people saw you in one light, but you wanted to become more relatable, so you changed.
Of course.
Right? So flexibility, I think, is one thing that makes us men better, the ability to be flexible. Two is that, and this is human nature, we don't do anything, right? It's very difficult for us to do anything if it doesn't bring us some sort of reward. So right now, right, we controlling your finances in a certain way, bringing in what you want. But if you say as your wife decides to leave, then changing it will bring you what you want also, right? And that's important, because sometimes, and this is where us men sometimes, where the disconnect is, we will always do the same thing even though we're not getting the results, and then think something is wrong with everyone else, versus learning how to change.
It's really something wrong with me. My wife got her own job. She got her own money. I mean, you know, we moved from a small house, like, you know, like, one thing I respect about her, because she's been with me this whole time. So I have to give her that credit. When I was nothing, sleeping on the floor together and shit like that, she been with me. So I feel like when she gets mad, she always say, oh, you, top of my head, I forgot some type of slogan she used, Caribbean, sorry, Trinidadian slogan. And I'd be like, but, because I'm Jamaican and Haitian, so let me just, I do that a lot between her and I'm trying to continue it. What I'm saying is that she been there with me along the way. Now, you evolved, and, you know, when you evolve, you start to get in feeling yourself, and you start to provide, and you realize that, hey, man, like, I am the head of this household. But when you have somebody as strong as my wife, and you have somebody as strong as your children, you have to be able to change if you want to make that. Because, listen, there's a study out there that says married men are the most successful men. There's a study. I don't know how true it is, right? And sometimes we hit roadblocks in marriages, right? I've hit plenty of roadblocks, but it's how you overcome them. And to me, overcoming them is listening more and listening. If I didn't have my children, I think I'll still be a caveman. If I didn't have being around Joe Budden podcast, I'd still probably be a caveman, because my way of thinking was skewed. I just have one way of thinking. It's about me. It's about Queenzflip. But then when you realize the people that you love are being affected, you have to change it, because if they're unhappy, you're unhappy. Believe it or not. I don't want to be in a house where everybody's unhappy. That just don't feel good. So in my mind, I was just telling my son this. I had to change, regardless of the financial abuse I believe in, regardless of whatever I believed in. I had to change, because I realized I don't want to lose that. You know what I mean? Because if I want to lose it, just get the up and leave, right? In America, like, your wife is allowed 50% of everything. Probably the same here. Your wife is allowed 50% of everything you get. You have to get out the house. It was a kid. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot of you gotta go through.
So your why clearly is, you know, they always say, what is your why? Your why clearly is your family. It drives you. Do you think that you've struck the balance either always or now? Because one of the oxymorons of life is the fact that sometimes your drive is your family, but in that drive, in that hustle, you're spending less time with the family.
True.
Because you're out there hustling to provide for the family, but in fact, you're neglected. You're neglected, you're distancing them, and sometimes the children don't understand that you're out there hustling, and they build up certain levels of resentment. Do you find that you've built?
No, that's real. I was just talking to my younger son and my daughter about that. I've been with my oldest son all this whole time. Like, look, he's filming for me. Been with him every day. Like, he became like, you know, even that, like, becoming like your best friend, and then you even that of wanting him to be a certain way and not realizing that he has a mind of his own, right? So, going out and getting it, because we were just talking about that. Going out and getting it is important because you want to provide, but my youngest children, they also missed that time with me. So now, because of evolution and because we're in a society where people are vocal, I'm happy that they're talking. Even if I may tell them shut the on my head, I'm happy that they're talking and I want to fix it to make them happy. So the family would drive me also, but my family's happiness is what would keep me content. Because, yeah, I'm a man. I still want to do what I want to do. Like, I do. I want to move how I want to move. But even I find myself sometimes thinking, like, is it even worth it? Is it even worth the headache? Is it worth seeing people move or feel the way they feel? And it's not. So,
you talking about women here, or you talking about
women,
women no rum?
No,
so
no,
not the women and rum.
No,
rum.
I'm just saying, like I'm a man, so I want to do what I want to do. I don't want to be questioned. I want to go outside. I got work to do. The women, it's just like I got to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
I have to get to it. I got to be able to provide, and I got to be able to maintain this large lifestyle that I built. I made $1 million on my own off of just YouTube by myself. Like I gotta get to. I gotta keep going. So at the end of the day, you still got to take in consideration other people's feelings, your wife's feelings, your children's feelings, and even though I have a tunnel vision, sometimes when it comes around, like if I have a tunnel vision and then you hear the little voices come around, you have to pay attention to it because I don't want to be at the top and alone. Mm-hmm. That's what I don't want to be.
So you're a retiring narcissist?
Well, not really. Not really. I'm trying to be able to balance my narcissism.
So as we talk about balance.
I hope that made sense. 'Cause I know I'll be going. I'll be going on a tangent. If I go on a tangent, that don't make sense. Stop me.
Trust me, we will.
No. It was deep. But I know. I don't want to wrap the show. I just spoke about balance, asking the question about sexuality and profanity, right? Mm-hmm. That balance as to why one is clearly allowed over this period of time, and the other one is not. I mean, it is. I don't know. I haven't done any research into that. But you're right. I mean, especially
off the top of my head, right? You asked, why do we promote? So exact question. Why do we promote sexuality but not profanity?
Yeah, profanity. They said when DDG cursed on the stage, they took the mic from him. They said when DMX cursed here in Trinidad, he got arrested. Right. So what is that about?
Okay, so this is just off the top of my head. There's no research. My thought, because I remember when DMX came and he got arrested, and I was like, him cursing, this is my opinion, is part of the essence of his music, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to hear
what you're getting.
Edited DMX. I want to hear real DMX. But, so we spoke about, he asked about if we're free or not, right? We adopted laws that were given to us. And sometimes those laws have contradictions because we didn't create it from our own culture. Right, that making sense. If we created laws from our own culture, then we'd have more of a balance in things. That's more off the top.
And there's a lot of laws here that for example, playing music at a certain decibel is against the law. Having a certain amount of alcohol, like you only allowed, I think, one liter of alcohol, and yet still you can go to Price Mart or any shop and buy as much alcohol as you want.
That you're allowed 1 liter.
So it's something one or 1.5 liters. But the point is, it's not laws that are enforced. It's just laws that were inherited that have just never changed. Maybe because of it's never been focused on.
But the profanity has to be a law of their.
But I just think it's.
I can tell you right now, under Section 49 of the Summary of Offences Act, the use of obscene or abusive language in public spaces, as well as performing profane songs in public, is against the law. Offenders can be fined up to $200 or 30 days in jail.
So we know it's against the law, but the question is why? Why is one thing allowed? Because for the 2 days, you're allowed a certain amount of revelry and behavior in the streets to a certain extent, but profanity. So I can understand as a.
Do you believe in double standards?
As in down the road of cognitive dissonance, or you talk
believe
about
that it exists, or believe that it?
Do you abide by double standard rules?
Well, I think. Okay, let me just. I can't answer just a quick yes or no, right? Double standards would mean, so to add a Trini saying to that, what is, there's people like to say, what is good for the goose must be good for the gander, right? I think that yes, as a man, and I know this is going to be controversial in itself, that there's certain things that men. I'm to flip boy, you know, like you know.
Right, no, go ahead.
I went at Christian, you know. No. I'm not censoring.
Let go. Do you believe?
I'm not. The nature of the show Manhood is always about authenticity and being real.
Yeah, bro, we don't need that part. We know what it is. We know the nature. We know everything. So, do you believe in double standards? Yes or no? You said yes. Why? Go.
When you say believe in it, there's a difference. Do I adopt it? Do
you adopt double standards then?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I have. And one of those things is the fact that, okay, with in past relationships where you, as a man, you know, if you go back to Neanderthal or Homo sapien, it's like if you believe in that as part of the animal kingdom,
You say if you believe in it? If you believe in evolution? That we just
No, I'm
suggested?
just saying if you believe, like
gotcha.
the whole thing with animal kingdom and all the rest of it, right? That we are animals, and therefore animals as males have maybe several females, right? Which is why you have people that are monogamous, some people are polygamous, and therefore if you hold a man to a certain the social norms and the social the social standards, my thing is okay. Let's forget all that bullshit be saying, right? Let's get straight to it.
Yeah.
A woman cheating on a man is different to a man cheating on a woman. That's how the way a woman.
Don't edit this out. Hey, we have a camera recording. Right? We edit this out. You talking crazy,
right?
Get off. How would you? Yeah, what?
So in that double standard, I'm not saying that either is correct, but how it is accepted or how the way a man is built. You have to remember, we start off with humanity. Humanity's core, at the core, they want to be enough. A man at his core wants to be respected. A woman wants to be loved. So if you come to your core about respect,
okay,
the fact that you are now disrespected, and especially by another man, we all know another man, who the woman is cheating with, right, is not really thinking about the woman. At that point, he's thinking of how he's dissing the man.
Yes.
He's thinking of how can I imprint almost onto this woman so she thinks about me. How have I dominated in many cases? And when a man knows that, like you mentioned about Amber Rose and a couple other people about the outlook of that, it might be the double standards of society that a man sleeps with 1,000 women. Say, for example, he's a stud, he's experienced. A woman sleeping with 1,000 men.
She's that's what people think. That's what they say. I'm not saying that. But that's what
exactly. But I'm talking about as a narrative and what you're raised as in your particular cultures and your upbringing. That's how you're going to. So that's when I say double standard.
But do you still feel that way? Have you
Which
changed
part
your
of
way?
it?
Not, everything. Have you changed your way of thinking when it comes to that? You said that you have adopted some double standards.
Mm-hmm.
You're older than me, so I don't know. You know, I also said clearly when it comes to me, I said that I'm evolving every day. I'm learning in real time.
Yeah.
And, you know.
So when I say double standards, I stand here. You know, remember I told you at the start, we're responsible for everything we are and everything we are not.
I did hear that.
Accountability is very key. I am very much more aware of my hypocritical behaviors.
Okay.
And what I do is I take accountability for that and try to adjust it. One very recent thing is when someone else, whether it be a brother, whether it be a sister or someone else gets something, you might go, wham to me, right? And I now have my own voice that in the back, when happens, I go, wham to me. And what that does, it reminds me to what is for me will always be for me, and no one can change that. The plan is the plan, right? No matter what I do. And so I will applaud everyone until it's my turn to be applauded. And when I say double standards to that, I am very accountable for the fact that I am hypocritical in certain ways of and thought, but am I going to stay in that sad space? Am I going to stay in that negative environment? Absolutely not.
I won't call double
as I said, and one last thing before we go, what I will say is, always remember, right? A winner is a loser who tried one more time. So therefore, in this space, I am continuing to try, and I will reach. I will come out of it.
I'm a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite. Let me just say this.
Was that too political?
No, that was fine. But here's the thing. I feel like and we talked about this on the JBP. I feel like when people say the line "What's for me is what's meant for me would be for me," that sort of is like
Cop-out?
a cop out, because that line doesn't allow you to take accountability and do better. Meaning, if you woke up late and missed an audition, and then you say to yourself, it just wasn't meant to be. It wasn't for me. You would not take an accountability that you woke up late and you didn't go to sleep early and you squandered that opportunity.
Hold on. I want you to know that thought, but that's not the accountability I'm talking about. I'm talking about you woke up, you did everything that you had to do, and it did not happen, right?
Okay.
That is what is for me. I'm not talking about where, God helps those who help themselves. Right? We're not talking about someone who decides, I'm just gonna sit back and I'm gonna expect this
okay.
6-figure job. You have to hustle. You have to put in the work.
I got it.
If you don't put in the work, as they say, don't expect the results for the work that you haven't done.
Okay.
Right? That's what I'm talking about.
All right. Yeah, I got you.
Wheel and come again, clock that.
That was fine. Nah, I can't, because when you start bringing God into it, I can't play around. Like, what's what I'm saying? As I said that, because then that means you believe in divine intervention and you believe in these in these theories. And I'm not saying I don't believe in them, but the way I view life may be a little bit different from how others view it. And I don't want to.
I believe God is the boss and everyone else is employees.
And I agree. But I also I agree 100%. I also feel like, however, I feel like that we are responsible for our shortcomings. I don't feel like there's anyone to blame for shortcomings. I feel like, what's that movie, Final Destination type where it's like, I did, like you said, I did everything I can do, and it just wasn't meant to happen. I believe in that. But I also believe in that you got to push harder. I also believe you have to go get it. You know what I mean? And God wouldn't put too much on our plate that we can't handle. And I just leave it at that. I don't want to play around with people in their religion. Yeah, my fault.
I just remember because we have to get to that point of closing now.
Yeah, we do.
And DJ Bravo said it here, one of our most famous cricketers. And where we spoke about mindset, changing mindset, and the champion mindset, sorry. And in that mindset that you must have, and you mentioned, talking about God, everybody prays. We're not talking whatever religion you are, everybody's praying to a higher being. And you're praying for something. But then what makes you different to the other person who might be praying for, like, say both of us on a football team and I'm praying to win and you're praying to win, right? Who is God going to answer? Or who is the higher being that you pray to going to answer, right? It's simply to be your best self. That's what I talk about, the accountability. How can I be my best self? How can, without divine intervention, become my best self? And to be your best self, you have to put in the work. And when you put in all the work, you need that additional edge, because when people say luck is really opportunity with preparation. Gives you luck, right? If you've done all of that, then you're looking for that, but they can only be one. So if we come full circle, there's 112th road march contender, and there are others who are great, but at the same time,
That's good.
they can only be one.
That was good.
Right? You're close.
I don't think there's anything else to say. I don't know.
Your closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts would be, I think it is natural to have double standards. Double standards is a part where you get to learn what is right for you and what is not. Because at some point in time, you're going to have to choose one. And other than that, pay attention to the bumper law is very important. And congratulations to Boy on his history, making history.
Take as long as you want.
Congratulations to Machel Montano. Him and I go back and forth a lot when we see each other. For a long time, man. But I do respect the work that he put in and who he is to soca music and just to the world. What he has built. So I want to salute him and, salute the Bunji Garlin as well. Salute the Nana Black Man. Salute to all my friends. I'm very biased. In closing, for me, is that it's okay to admit that you're a narcissist. It's okay to admit you're a hypocrite and a manipulator. What it is that we do highlight other people's shortcomings instead of looking within. And I think it's important to look within and understand who you are so you can be able to navigate through this world. Because if you don't navigate through this world, you just become a lost soul in an endless loop. And you don't want to be in an endless loop. Sometimes you want to get out the loop to grow. And I feel like even coming here is about growth and meeting new people. And also, I don't like what you did to Wendy Rahamed. I know the real story about the double. She don't want me to talk about it. I was supposed to go do some cooking with her. I don't like that. I gave her a bad batch. I know the real story. Jason told me. I know the real story. She don't want me to talk about it. She canceled me and her supposed to do the cooking. She canceled it because she know I'm not going to stop talking about it. I was bringing all the creators. I think it's whack. I think it's whack for that woman to be on TV for 17 years. Is just to ignore her like that and not come out, the chief or whoever, not come out and say, yo, hey, we gave her a bad batch. We were trying a batch of homemade doubles to make it at home, and not come up and let that lady take that downfall and become a laughing stock on the internet. I think that's whack. I think she's a nice lady. I did my history on her, and shout out to Wendy. I stand with her. Why you laughing? I'm dead. I believe in that. That's trash.
All right, let's go back to This Is Manhood. I appreciate you.
No. That's trash. I'm sorry, no disrespect. I think that's trash. I heard the results. Y'all can laugh. I don't know if y'all cool with the chief people too. Salute to y'all.
No.
That's trash. To let somebody take that, somebody that's been on TV for 17 years watching on television with their grandmother and to let that woman fall like that and become a laughing stock on the internet and not come clean and say, yo, we was doing a trial and error and we gave her a bad batch. I think that's trash. I'm sorry. But shout out to Wendy. I think it's trash.
But before we wrap up on
that,
is that part of our trauma and our smallness where we always look to bring someone down? You know, there's that saying that says, you know, a rising tide raises all ships. But yet still we want to peg people.
Don't get sucked into what are you doing, eh? What are you doing?
Pegging people down.
Why? I'm not lying. You think I'm not lying?
I know you're not lying.
Told me this. Why are you laughing for? Wait, hold on real quick. What's over? So you trying to? So I shouldn't have said that. That shit is whack.
You should say it. I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, that shit is trash. Yo, when I heard it, listen, they made me turn the camera off. When I came in 2 years ago, and I told the JT, he turned the camera off and he shared. Shout out to JT, shared it with me. So when I thought,
I don't know what. I don't get the whole whether there's a beating in there or not.
Hey yo, I think that is trash. If she would have let me do the video, I was gonna say that the chef that the people forgot. Period. I saw all the shit I did. I got a $10,000 program that I pay for. When you type the name, I look up. It tells you all the things that are being said, and I watched what was said about that woman. I think that is whack. She asked me to say something. She said, "I think the Trini people are proud. Yo, I'm not a victim." She said, "I'm past that. It happened years ago," and I respect that she said that. I think that's trash. Period. I think it's whack. I think if somebody knew that and somebody's getting attacked, that woman, I think somebody should come out and say, "Yo, hey, this is what it was," but. To each his own. Queenzflip, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry because
he laughing, he make it out.
What I'm appreciating is one, you're always your authentic self, and you're supporting and backing what you believe in, without fear of any sort of reprisal or anything like that. And
don't edit that out either.
No, we don't edit.
All right, quickly. So there was some research where you could measure the vibration level of the emotions that you have, right? Mm-hmm. And the highest level of vibration that they could measure, I thought it would have been love, but the highest one is authenticity, right? Okay. And the lowest one is shame. And it's important, and I've seen this as men, that being our authentic self is the highest vibration we could be in. Now, of course, I know sometimes that's easier said than done based on the environment you live in, the society, the family, etc. So, Trevor, right, I appreciate you coming here and being authentic, right?
Appreciate that,
right? And embodying to the essence of what manhood is us being our authentic self. Here we are laughing, joking, etc. That's us being our authentic self also, right?
So, I'm gonna break it down really simple to say that with regards to the bumper law, approach it inch by inch. I'm happy to be in the capital, and to really take it in pieces. I'll still be a roadman, can't behave myself, and I look forward to the encore. Johanse, Queenzflip. Nile, This is Manhood. And yes, we did speak about women and rum.
Manhood, brought to you in part by Solomon's Bespoke.